History is full of moments that reshape the world. From unexpected revolutions to earth-shattering tragedies, these are the events that left humanity forever changed. Get ready as we count down the top 8 most shocking events that changed history forever, ranked from least to most shocking. Starting off at number 8, imagine a wall so powerful it divided not just a city, but an entire world. The Berlin Wall wasn't just bricks and concrete, it was the ultimate symbol of the Cold War, splitting East and West Berlin for nearly 3 decades. Families torn apart, dreams crushed, freedom a distant memory. But then came 1989, a year the world would never forget. The people of East Germany had had enough. Protests erupted, crowds swelled, and the world watched as the unthinkable began to unfold. On November 9th, a simple mistake changed everything. During a press conference, a government official accidentally announced that East Germans could cross into West Berlin, effective immediately. He didn't realize the chaos he had unleashed. Within hours, thousands rushed to the checkpoints. Overwhelmed and confused, border guards threw open the gates. The wall that had divided a world was now powerless against the will of the people. Hammers smashed concrete. Families reunited. The world saw a moment of pure human triumph, a peaceful revolution that marked the beginning of the end for the Cold War. The fall of the Berlin Wall wasn't just the collapse of a structure. It was the collapse of fear, oppression, and division. A moment that proved when people stand together, no wall can hold them back. Coming up next, at number 7, imagine a world where every book was written by hand, a process so slow that owning a single book was a luxury only the richest could afford. That was life before the 15th century. Then, in 1440, something that changed the course of human history forever. Johannes Gutenberg, a goldsmith from Mainz, Germany, invented the printing press, a revolutionary machine that could produce books faster and cheaper than ever before. At first glance, it seems like just a clever gadget, but its impact absolutely world-shattering. Before the printing press, it could take months or even years to create a single book. But now, a press could print hundreds of copies in the same time. It didn't just speed things up, it sparked a knowledge explosion. Ideas spread like never before. The Renaissance blossomed, scientific discoveries accelerated, and Martin Luther's Reformation wouldn't have been possible without it. The press turned a spark of thought into a wildfire of innovation. Gutenberg's Bible became a symbol of a new era. Suddenly, knowledge wasn't just for elites, it was for everyone. People began to question, to learn, and to challenge the status quo. And it didn't stop there. The printing press set the stage for everything we know today. Newspapers, novels, education, even social media. Without it, would the world look anything like it does now? The printing press wasn't just an invention, it was a revolution, one that reshaped humanity forever. Up next at number 6, in the mid-1300s, a silent killer swept across Europe, leaving devastation in its wake. It was called the Black Death, and it was more terrifying than anything you can imagine. From 1347 to 1351, this plague killed an estimated 25 million people, nearly 1/3 of Europe's population. Imagine entire towns wiped off the map, markets empty, and fields abandoned. One knew what caused it. Some blamed the stars, others thought it was God's wrath. Desperate to survive, people turned to bizarre cures, like bathing in vinegar or wearing protective charms. But the real culprit? Fleas, hitching a ride on rats. A tiny insect carrying a bacterium, Yersinia pestis, brought mighty empires to their knees. The Black Death didn't just kill people, it reshaped history. It brought feudalism to its knees, as labor shortages gave peasants new power. Entire economies collapsed, and the seeds of the modern world were sown in its ashes. But the fear? Oh, that lingered. For centuries, the Black Death haunted Europe's memory. It was a stark reminder of how fragile humanity truly is. The Black Death didn't just change Europe, it changed everything. Next up at number 5, June 28, 1914. A single gunshot echoes through the streets of Sarajevo. Little did the world know, this moment would ignite a chain reaction leading to one of the deadliest conflicts in human history, World War I. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, was visiting Sarajevo with his wife. Their visit was meant to strengthen ties in a region boiling with tension, but lurking in the crowd was Gavrilo Princip, a 19-year-old member of a nationalist group who had other plans. The day began with a failed bomb attack on their convoy, which injured others but left the Archduke unharmed. You'd think they'd cancel the tour, but no. Later that day, their driver made a wrong turn, right into Princip's path. Princip seized the moment, firing 2 shots. One struck the Archduke, the other his wife. Within minutes, they were both dead. The assassination shocked the world, but the real shockwave was yet to come. This single act of violence set off a domino effect. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Alliances dragged Germany, Russia, France, and Britain into the conflict. What followed was World War I, a war that claimed over 16 million lives and forever reshaped the political map of Europe. Europe. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand was more than just a tragic event. It was the match that lit the powder keg of history, proving how one moment can change the world forever. Halfway there. At number 4, imagine the year is 1969. The world is gripped by a space race, a battle of ambition between two superpowers. Then, on July 20th, history changed forever. 3 astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, left Earth aboard Apollo 11, bound for a place no human had ever set foot, the moon. The stakes? Immense. The risks? Astronomical. Millions watched breathlessly as Armstrong descended the lunar module ladder, uttering words that would echo through time. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. The moon landing wasn't just a scientific triumph. It was a unifying moment in the chaos of the Cold War. For a brief instant, the world wasn't divided by borders. It was united in awe. But was it all real? Conspiracies still swirl around grainy footage and odd shadows. Yet, the legacy of Apollo 11 remains undeniable. It inspired generations to dream bigger and reach further than ever before. In 1969, humanity did the impossible. Up next at number 3, August 6, 1945, a single moment that reshaped history forever. The United States dropped the first atomic bomb, codenamed Little Boy, on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. In an instant, 80,000 lives vanished, with tens of thousands more succumbing to the aftermath. But the devastation didn't stop there. Just 3 days later, on August 9th, Fat Man, a second bomb, obliterated Nagasaki, killing another 70,000 people. The scale of destruction was unlike anything humanity had ever witnessed. Cities turned to ash, shadows burned into walls, and survivors left scarred for life. These bombings didn't just end World War II, they signaled the dawn of the nuclear age. For the first time, humanity held the power to destroy itself. Nations scrambled to develop nuclear weapons, sparking a Cold War arms race and decades of fear. The bombings remain a haunting reminder of the cost of war, a moment that changed the world forever. Coming up next at number 2, imagine a group of farmers, merchants, and dreamers taking on the mightiest empire the world had ever seen. Sounds impossible, right? Yet, that's exactly what happened in the American Revolution of 1775. Britain ruled the colonies with an iron fist. Taxes without representation, strict trade laws. It was a powder keg waiting to explode. Then came the spark, the shot heard round the world, the battles of Lexington and Concord. Ordinary colonists turned into revolutionaries overnight. Led by figures like George Washington and fueled by Thomas Jefferson's Declaration of Independence, these rebels declared something unheard of: we will govern ourselves. But it wasn't just a fight for freedom, it was a gamble with everything on the line. The odds were slim. Soldiers starved, froze, and bled. Yet, against all expectations, they stood tall. Then, in 1781 at Yorktown, the unthinkable happened. The mighty British Army surrendered. And at last but not least, September 11th, 2001, a date forever etched into history. It began like any other Tuesday morning. Blue skies, bustling streets, until the unthinkable happened. At 8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. 17 minutes later, United Airlines Flight 175 struck the South Tower. Shock turned to terror as the world watched in disbelief. This wasn't just an attack on buildings. The Pentagon was struck. Flight 93 crashed into a Pennsylvania field after passengers fought back. Nearly 3,000 lives lost in a matter of hours. Heroic first responders raced toward danger. But by the end of the day, the Twin Towers were gone, and the world was forever changed. 9/11 shook the foundation of our reality, altering geopolitics, security, and daily life. But amidst the tragedy, humanity united, proving that even in darkness, there's light. 23 years later, the echoes of that day remind us of the fragility and resilience